Hi everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited that you found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, I love luxury handbags, luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Hitting that subscribe button costs you absolutely nothing but means so much to me, so I hope you'll help me out. Today is a very momentous occasion for me. It is just yeah that I may cry a few times during this video. I'll just give you a heads up. So if I've made the thumbnail that I think I'm gonna make for this, then you probably know what I'm about to unbox, but it is still very much a moment for me. So I have talked about at length that I'm a collector on this channel. I am a true collector. I collect and that everything that I own with my handbags, they most certainly I have an emotional attachment to them. And I'm going to do a whole video about collecting versus hoarding, because lots of people like to call me a hoarder and I'm not. But there are moments in a collector's life where they find a piece, or they're able to purchase a piece that is like top of their list. That is the thing that they covet most in their collection. So for an art collector, that might be a piece from their favorite artist ever. It might be a historical piece that they're able to acquire. For a stamp collector, it might be the rarest stamp for them, or the stamp that they are desperately seeking that is going to, you know, elevate their collection in their head. All of this exists in your own head when you're a collector. Of course, there is no hierarchy. It is most certainly a personal thing, because your collection is a personal thing. You collect what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what you love in whatever area you collect. Stamps, spoons, whatever. If you collect porcelain dolls, each of those collections is specific to you. And the pieces that you covet the most exist in your head. So this bag for me is most certainly the piece. It is the bag that has sat at the top of my list that I have dreamed about and wanted. And to know that I now have it is still a little surreal for me. And there's a whole story time with this bag, so I won't make you sit here and listen to the story time first. I will most certainly unbox the bag first, and then if you're interested, I'll talk to you about the story time that goes with this bag. And I'm lucky enough to have several bags that have been at the very top of my list and that I have acquired. So for me, the first one was owning a Birkin in the first place. I had said for years I will never own a Birkin. I will never be offered a Birkin. And my husband, when we were in store, simply asked the question. I built a relationship and I was offered a Birkin in the first 6 months of shopping with Hermes, and that was this Birkin, which was exactly what I wanted. It was pink, it had palladium hardware, it was in the color framboise, which I never quite say correctly, and you guys love to correct me on that. I know. So that was the first thing. I owned a Birkin. It was a momentous occasion for me that I owned a Birkin, because I never thought I would own a Birkin. I grew up with nothing. I never thought I'd own a Birkin. And then to be offered a special order. Like, I was offered the opportunity to do a special order Birkin, and I did, and I got exactly what I wanted, and that was a moment for me, an occasion. And then I was offered a Mini Kelly, which is in black box calf, which is rare and hard to get, and I got exactly what I wanted when Mini Kellys were at their height and people found it really hard to get them. I was offered my Ostrich Birkin 25 in Paris. Like, these are all moments in my life, and I understand. I get it. First world, like, yay me, aren't I lucky? Like, these are all just material possessions. I understand that. I absolutely understand that. But as a collector, these all are moments for me. Very, very important moments for me. And whether you think that's superficial or shallow is irrelevant, because this is my collection. This is what I love. This is what brings me joy. Yes, I have family, and yes, I have children and my job and all those things. They all come well and truly prioritized above this. But this brings me joy, this collection. No different to an art collector. No different to a collector of anything. This brings me joy. They might be expensive, but they bring me joy. So for each of these things behind me, they're moments. And this one's a moment. I did warn you I might cry. Stupid to cry over handbags, but here we are. And I understand that all I'm talking about Hermes bags. This extends to lots of brands in my collection. It's just that my Hermes bags are up behind me. I have moments in all my collections. In my Louis Vuitton collection, those moments extend to vintage bags as well, not just new ones. So I feel that way about a lot of my bags, and there are a lot that I could pull that are moments for me. But this one, yeah, this one's taken a while to sink in. And it's still sinking in, and I am so excited to have it. And it's just, I can't even. So let's just unbox it, because otherwise I'm just going to sit here and cry. So we have this box. And I've just this second noticed that it has the Hermes 2024 ribbon on it. So handy. And most certainly, I don't know if prolific's the right word, but this is such a moment, and it's got the ribbon for 2024 on it, which is my first ribbon for 2024 that I've received. So, and I keep one piece of ribbon for every year from Hermes. So this will be the ribbon that I choose to keep from 2024. So let's unbox it. Let's have the moment together, because I have seen it in store, but I have not taken it out of the box since I got it. Usually I can wait on a bag for quite a while to unbox it, and I'm okay with it. This one I've had less than a week, and I'm dying to get it out of the box. It's because it is so special. So if anyone wants to see the ribbon for 2024, this is what it looks like. If I can get it to focus, which may or may not happen. I can't, there we go. So that's what the 2024 Hermes ribbon looks like for this year. Yeah. I'm sorry if I continue to cry, but it's a moment. It's definitely a moment. So Hermes, take the lid off. So this is a very, very special box. Hermes do boxes that have this blue around the outside. It tells you that it is a very, very special piece. And in addition to that, the dust bag is also in the navy blue print, which also tells you it's a very, very special piece. So, oh my goodness. So you can see the box looks like this. Usually it's just an empty box and they put a cushion in. Not when it's a very, very special piece. It's got its own permanent cushion there. So, and Connor from the closet did contact me and say, so help me God, if you don't keep that box, I'm keeping the box. This box will stay. Most of the time I recycle my boxes, but not this time. And then in the back there's a little bit, and you can see that there's a book in there and it tells you what this is. So we can look at that later if you want, but for now let's just put that down there. Oops, daisy. So in this dust bag in blue, and the dust bag is blue, the cord is blue. It's a very special piece. I never thought I was going to get one of these. My sales associate said to me last year, yep, we can definitely aim for that. And I thought he was having me on. I thought he was just pacifying me. And I love my sales associate, Hermes. He's fabulous. He's wonderful. He's kind. He's funny. He's everything you want in a sales associate. And I kind of had a little bit of hope because I know him and he will try his very best, but I also know how rare these are and how unlikely it was that Sydney would get many at all, and then trying to have it assigned to me was a whole different ball game he would need to play on his end. So while I had this thought in my head, it was a possibility, I didn't want to entertain the thought because I never really wanted to attach myself to that. Like, I put it out into the universe many, many times. This is what I want. I really want this. I really want this. And I kept putting it out into the universe, and the universe has delivered. But more importantly, my sales associate has delivered. So let's get it out. I know, I'm talking a lot. I'm talking a lot so I don't cry a lot. It's so pretty. I'm gonna cry again. So this is my picnic Birkin in the size 25 in the color Nata. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. Oh, let me get myself together. Okay, now I've composed myself again, fixed my makeup after I sat here sobbing. I have also taken off the felt and all the stickers in that time as well, so that you can see the bag for what it truly is, which is an absolute work of art. Now, I have wicker bags. I have Lady Dior bags in the wicker. They are beautiful. I love them. You can see the difference in workmanship between those and this. So I am not saying, I am not doing what everybody does where, oh, Hermes is so superior. No, my Dior wicker bags are absolutely stunning and I love them, but there is absolutely a difference in the workmanship that goes into it. This, so different, so different. So to recap, Birkin 25 Picnic in the color Nata. I had said to my sales associate, black, white, pink, go. If I was going to get anything, that was what I wanted. I did not want one in gold. I did not want one in a neutral that other people would consider neutrals. Like, I didn't want the chai or any of that. I wanted something that would work with my wardrobe. Black, white, pink, good to go. So when this came up, and I'll tell the story time around that, and it was in the color Nata, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's going to go with so much in my wardrobe. So let's have a close look at it. So you can see all the wicker detail there. It goes down to the bottom, but there is also some leather here. I believe this is an Evercolor or a Swift leather. It is a smooth leather. So it has feet, clearly, goes all the way down and then across the back. I have twillies on it. I chose twillies that were very neutral in color also, well, a neutral for me, so that it didn't, like, if the twillies were too much of a color, it was going to dictate what I could wear this with, where if I kept it quite light and neutral, it would basically go with most of my wardrobe. It has palladium hardware, which I also love. And when you open these up, they open up slightly differently. I should show you the sides. So you can see that plait detail is how they attach the leather to the wicker. It is phenomenal workmanship, just amazing. And they do not make many picnics at all. Picnic Birkins, even less so. You see more picnic Kellys, and even that you don't see many of. But you certainly see more Kellys than you see Birkins. So this is just such a unicorn. So you lift them up the same way, the sangles up the same way, but then they feed through a little like belt loop on the end as well, so that they don't just hang down. So let's open it up. Such a moment. Such a moment. And then, so you can see on the bottom, as I open it, those leather details actually go quite slack because it is hinged on the bottom, and that's how they make this work for the wicker. So take that out. Inside is the same as all Birkins. So it's probably going to have the same capacity as a Birkin 25 Cellier. I don't own a Birkin 25 Cellier. I own my Kelly 25 in Cellier, but it's probably going to have about the same capacity, or maybe even a little bit less. So it's all leather lined. It does have the zip at the back still. So the zip pocket there, you can see that detail of plaiting all on the inside as well. And then there is a slip pocket at the front. But other than that, there are no other details. I am absolutely getting a liner for this because this is essentially, Nata is essentially white. It's a creamy white, almost a very, very, very pale yellow. That's how creamy it is, which suits me. It's not a stark white, which I'm kind of happy about because stark white can be hard to style, but I will absolutely be getting a liner, and I have already made contact with Handbag Angels, who I work with regularly, to say, hey, I have a very special bag that you guys are going to have to work on soon. And Leslie was like, we can't wait to see it. We can't wait to get involved. So I'm absolutely going to be in touch with Handbag Angels on that. So you can see the stamping there in silver. Which just says Hermes Paris, made in France. It is not horseshoe or anything, so that doesn't have a horseshoe on it. And then in here is the little clochette, so, which is also in Nata and has the silver lock, which still has the stickers on it that I need to take off. Now, I generally put my clochettes on my bags. I'm probably not going to put this one on. I think I'll probably just keep it with the box because I am keeping the box. But I don't feel like I need to hang this one off. I feel like there's enough going on with this bag that I don't really need to put the clochette on. And some people say that the clochettes are over, like they're not, you just don't do that anymore. I like my clochettes on, but not for this one. Not for this one. But oh my goodness. God. I can't believe I own this. Honestly, I cannot believe it. And there are bags that are more expensive than this at Hermes, most certainly. Exotics, absolutely. If you own a croc or an alligator, or probably not ostrich, but croc and alligator are more expensive than this. Kelly dolls would be more expensive than this. So it is not the most expensive bag. It is incredibly hard to get and incredibly rare because there is so much work that goes into this. They're stunning, just stunning. And I'm just so grateful to have it. And when I say grateful, I understand I paid money for this. I paid a lot of money for this. This was just shy of $39,000, I want to say. So yeah, it was not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but for a collector, just an absolute moment for me that I own this. I own a Picnic Birkin. It's just, my head is exploding. I can't believe it. Like, Meredith of 5 years ago would laugh at me if I went back in time and said, you're going to own a Picnic Birkin one day. She would kill herself laughing, as if. And here I am owning just the most stunning Picnic Birkin. Story time. There is most certainly a story time with this. So, I got this, my Kelly 25 in Celeste in the Cellier. I got that in December. So it was like a second ago for me. And I had a very big year last year. I got my Boronia Forberg, I got my ostrich, and then I got the Kelly. But the ostrich came from Paris, so it didn't count with my sales associate in Sydney. So my sales associate is talking to me about my wish list. And I always have the Picnic Birkin at the top of the wish list. Well, I have since I got my special order, basically. And I've been talking to him about it for over a year, almost 2 years, I would want to say. But I always preface that with, listen, I know that this is a pipe dream that you get so few. I probably won't ever see one, but I'm going to put it on my wish list because if I don't put it out into the universe, then I'm never going to get it because you're never going to know. And he's always been really good about managing my expectations. We don't get very many. They rarely come in. The Birkin especially is hard to get. The Kelly, would you take a Kelly? I said, look, yes, at some point I might want a Picnic Kelly, but the Birkin, I love my Birkins more than I love Kellys. Like, I would love a Birkin. So he's trying to manage my expectations and say, hey, if you take a Kelly, I can probably get you a Kelly easier than I can get you a Birkin. And I was like, no, I really want the Birkin. I'm going to sit and wait. Knowing that it might never happen. So he's been managing my expectations for a long time, but towards the end of last year, probably around the time I got back from Paris, he started to be more inclusive of that conversation, including a picnic. So we would talk about what kind of things am I after, what colors am I looking at. A lot of colors didn't speak to me at the time, and I was like, you know, this is what I'm looking at, this is my wish list, and you know, I know the picnic Birkin is just pie in the sky, never gonna happen. He was like, I think we can probably acquire you one maybe next year. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. If you want to say that, that's fine, but I'm going to manage my expectations and not expect it. So that had been floated at the end of last year, that maybe this 2024 was going to be the year that I got it, but I certainly wasn't hanging my hat on that, because ultimately the stock has to be sent to Sydney. It has to be then what I want in terms of color, and then it has to be assigned to me over other clients. These are all hurdles that you have to jump, or your sales associate has to jump for you in the background. So I certainly wasn't pinning my hopes on it. So I got my Kelly at the end of last year. I went into store this year. I vlogged it. I put it, and I'll link that vlog down below. I bought a few things, and at that appointment, he said, we've got to get your wish list sorted for this year. And I said, well, I just got my Kelly like 5 minutes ago. It was almost Christmas when I got that. Like, I feel like that's whiplash, and I'm only going to get like 2 bags this year if I'm lucky. So I feel like I'm still a long way from that. He's like, no, we need to get your wish list finalized. Let's look at what's top of your list. So I said, look, as always, the picnic Birkin is the absolute top of my list. White, black, pink. They're my colors. So that's what I want. And he's like, size? And I said, I would prefer a 25, but I will look at a 30 if it comes in. He's like, Kelly? And I said, no, I would prefer a Birkin. So he said, okay, and then what else is on your list? So I went down the other things that I'm after, things that I'm hunting. So I'd like another Birkin 30. I'd like a Kelly 32 in a heritage leather. Like, there's other things that are on my wish list. And if you're interested in what I'm hunting at Hermes, let me know, and I'll do a video around what's on my Hermes wish list now. So we talked about all of that. He was like, cool, no worries. And off I went with my purchases that I had made that day. And I said at that time, I said to him, look, I'll probably be back around Mother's Day. There's some things I want to get for my mum for Mother's Day. He's like, cool, no worries. And that was like February, and Mother's Day is until May. So he knew I'd be back in that time, but I certainly wasn't going to be back in the next week or so. Fast forward to last week, and my fabulous friend Dale from Dale's Addiction was down visiting. I also saw Connor in the same week, but it happened to be the day that Dale was here. So that vlog I have also done, and I will link it down below. So Dale was here in Sydney, and we had caught up, and we were just out and about shopping, doing bits and pieces. We were in Westfields. We'd been to a few stores, hadn't bought anything yet. We're just like wandering, having a look at what's out there. And I said to her, because I was wearing my Valentino slides that day, I said, I really want another pair of Valentino shoes. Can we go down to the flagship store of Valentino? And she's like, yeah, where is it? So I was like, oh, it's on the corner of Castlereagh and King Street. Now, the corner of Castlereagh and King Street in Sydney is like, you know, there's 4 very big stores. There's Valentino, there's Dior, there is Chanel, and then there's Hermes, and they're on each of those corners. So we were heading down in that direction. We were like outside, we're coming up to Dior, and I get this text message from my sales associate at Hermes. He's like, have you got a minute to talk? And that's usually fortuitous. Like that's like a sign that he's got something for me that he needs to talk to me about. Now, I had asked him for a navy blue Kelly belt, and he's like, I've got to order it. So I thought, oh, maybe my belt's come in. So I'm like, well, I'm like, funnily enough, I've just gone outside. Like I'm here. And he read that as, oh, she's outside at work, she can talk. And actually what I meant was, I'm physically standing outside the store, so why don't I come in? So he rang, and I said, no, I'm outside the store, I'm gonna come in. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, it's a great day for a picnic. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, it's a great day for a picnic, you should come in. I was like, holy shit. I turned to Dale, I went, sorry if I swear, I'm like, holy shit, I think he has my Birkin, my picnic Birkin. She's looking at me like, what? And I said, I think this is it. I think my Birkin is here. She's like, right, well, in we go. So we went in, and the store was so busy that day. They've stopped having a line outside, and they're now letting everyone in again. And it was crazy. There were people everywhere. There was more people in the store than I had ever seen in that store other than the Christmas party. And I was like, wow, okay. So we're standing in the Scarbs and my sales associate saying, I'm just trying to find the stock. And I was like, okay, no worries, we'll stand here. So out he comes with this orange box. This orange box. And he's like, why don't we go upstairs where it's quieter? So they've got like a little room upstairs and a little display mezzanine section upstairs. So Dale and I follow him upstairs and we sit down in this little area and he's like, are you ready? I was like, okay, sure. And out comes this bag. He's like, it's in the colour Nata. And I'm like, oh my God. And my head exploded. It literally exploded. So a million things went through my head very, very quickly. So the first and foremost was money, because yes, I have money, but sometimes it's not always where you need it to be at the time you need it if something is unexpected. So I had it, but I had to quickly reorganize where it all was and move it to somewhere that I could access it to pay for this. So I'm highly stressed about that because I'm like, is this going to be instant? Is it going to be overnight? And he's saying to me, it's okay. Don't panic. Worst case scenario, we will reserve it for you and you can do what you need to do and come back and get it like tomorrow or next week, whatever. Don't panic. If you want this bag, we will reserve it. It's yours. Don't worry about that. But I was highly stressed. I was highly stressed at that point because I was like, I want this bag. I've got to now make all these movements around bank accounts and stuff, and so I can pay for this instantly. So that was going through my head. And then the other thing that's going through my head is I never run anything past my husband. I don't ever ask permission for anything, and I wasn't asking permission, but this was a very big purchase and it was an unexpected one more than that. So often, like when I travel overseas, yes, I expect I'm going to spend money. He knows that. This was like a Friday afternoon and I had not planned for it. We had no idea it was coming. So I said to Dale, I'm going to have to ring Mr. Lux. Not because I'm asking for permission. I need to verbalize this. It was about verbalizing that I'm about to do this. And he was about to see a whole heap of things happen in our bank account and he wouldn't have known why. So I rang him and I said, I'm not asking for permission, but this has happened and I'm about to do this. And he's like, do you love it? And I said, I am so happy right now. He's like, fine, whatever, go nuts. I was like, okay, fine. So I kind of, and I want to be very clear, he would, even if he had said this is not a good idea, I would have done it anyway. But I felt the need to verbalize to him what I was doing because it was so unexpected. And while this is all going on my head, I can't feel the joy I want to feel about this because I am so like blindsided by it. It was just such a shock to the system that it had been 3 minutes since I found out I was getting it. I was there, I had seen it, and like it's just that moment of this is everything I wanted and it's here and I haven't had chance to mentally prepare for it. So I was just kind of shell-shocked. I didn't verbalize well enough to my sales associate how grateful I was because I was trying to just get my head to catch up with me. Dale was with me and I'm looking at Dale and I'm going, I'm all over the shop. Like I can't get it together. And it was like that for hours afterwards. I was completely shell-shocked by it. So I feel like usually when I get offered a quota bag, I know the quota bag is there for me. My sales associate has made contact with me. Sometimes he sent me photos like this one. I knew exactly what I was going to get. So between when I get the phone call and go pick it up, there's usually like a day or so. Sometimes it'll be a couple of days. So in that time, my head has had time to catch up. I'm like really excited about it because I know it's coming. I know it's sitting there. I had no time to get excited about this because I didn't know it was coming. I was absolutely shocked by it. So I kind of lost that, oh my God, jumping up and down, screaming, clapping because I was so shell-shocked by it. I'm now at that point and I cry a lot still, but on the day I couldn't quite get my brain to catch up and I was dealing with other thoughts going through my head. So I really needed to just kind of focus. So Dale was there. Dale must be my good luck charm. She was with me in Paris when I got this one. It was just so strange that we were literally standing outside the store when he contacted me and that Dale was with me. It's just bizarre. Just the whole thing was so strange. So anyway, I paid for it and now I'm like, oh my God, I need Twillies because the handles are clearly Nata as well and I don't want to ruin the handles. So we went and chose Twillies and Dale did some shopping of her own, which she will put up on her channel. And we left and I left with it in my hand and Dale's looking at me as we walk down the street back to the hotel and I'm like, I can't process this. I'm not processing this well. I'm just shell-shocked by it. I wasn't prepared for it. And she's like, you'll get excited. Like, it's all right. It's all good. I think she was shocked as well because, you know, like we hadn't expected it. She's like, do you want to go to Valentino? Like, I'm like, no, I don't want to go to Valentino now. I just spent a ridiculous amount of money. I'm not going to buy shoes. So yes, instead of going to Valentino and spending more money, we just went back to the hotel and went back to our own rooms and I had a few minutes, which if you've watched that vlog, you will have known that I was still all over the shop at that point as I was sitting in my room. And even at dinner, it still made no sense to me. And sitting here right now with this bag, it's surreal, absolutely surreal for me. So that's my little story time with my picnic Birkin. I'm in absolute love with it. I have no words to describe what it feels like to get something that you never thought you were going to own, was an absolute pipe dream, that is so rare, but is something that you always wanted for your collection. There's no words. I don't have a good word. If you've got a word, let me know. What is this? But for me, it's just phenomenal. It's just out there that I own this. It's out there that I own any of these. As a handbag collector, it's just a real moment. So I am so happy. I'm so happy to have my picnic Birkin. And I will admit, the following. So I have had a very, very big end 2023, beginning of 2024. There have been a lot of pieces I have added to my collection in a very short period of time, and some very, very expensive pieces I have added in a very short period of time. Case in point, this was not cheap. My exotics are not cheap, and I still have pieces sitting around me that I have not unboxed for you guys yet, which are also rare, expensive, whatever. So I've had a very big 3 months, December, January, February. I'm going to New York in August. And I am not somebody who does a low buy. I'm not doing a low buy year. I'm not doing a no buy year. I'm not saying I'm not going to spend anymore. I'm not one of those people. If that's what people need to do for their own mental health, then I support them in that. And I think it's great. Everybody needs to make their own rules in their own head. I will absolutely admit, when I got back to the hotel room and I knew this was sitting in the box next to me, and I had verbalized to Dale, I said, I feel like I need to take a beat. It's such a mind-blowing thing, the amount of handbags I have added this year, especially with the new denim collection that came out with Louis Vuitton. I ordered so many of those pieces, and I've got orders that are pending for the rest of the year, and I've got exotics and really expensive handbags, and it has just been a lot in a very short period of time. So I said to Dale, I need a beat. I just need a beat. I don't at this second in time feel a desperation to add a single handbag to my collection in the near future, other than the ones that I have around me that I still need to unbox for you guys. So certainly the unboxings are not going anywhere. There's plenty sitting around me, and there are many, many orders that will filter in throughout the year. You probably won't even notice really that I've taken a beat. I am not saying I'm not going to buy anything. If something comes up and I go, oh my goodness, it's beautiful, I really need to own that, then I will most certainly still buy it and add it to my collection. I am not putting myself under house arrest in any way. I have a special order from Fendi that is being made. I have orders from Louis Vuitton, which will come in throughout the year as they come through. And there are other bits and pieces, vintage pieces that I'm like, there's lots going on still. I'm not saying I'm not buying, but even I am like, I think I need a beat now. Like, that's a lot to add in a very short period of time. I have been so incredibly lucky to be and fortunate to be in a position where I could add so many beautiful pieces in such a short period of time, all of which I love. So I don't have purse piece. I don't think I'll ever have purse piece. I guess I guess it's a feeling of momentary contentment, if that makes sense. And I know that won't last because there's always something else coming, and I'm always hunting for something, whether it be a vintage piece or whether that happens to just show up at the right time, or whether something's coming into store and I go, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous, I love it. But in this moment that we're having right now, in this moment, with the things sitting around me, and I know what's sitting around me that needs to be unboxed, and the things that are sitting in this room with me and behind me, there is a sense of contentment that I don't feel very often. It is rare that I feel content in my collection. It won't last. It absolutely will not last. But knowing what I own, knowing what's here, knowing what I've ordered and what's coming, it's a strange feeling for me to have this I need a beat, because I'm feeling content in my collection. I'm not feeling complete. I am not feeling purse piece. I have a moment of contentment, which is nice. Different, very strange for me. But I'm at this second in time content. Amazing what a picnic Birkin will do. So yes, they're just some musings. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my beautiful picnic Birkin. I love it. I'm so excited. Do I want a picnic Kelly at some point? I have contentment at the moment. Will I want one at some point? Probably. There will probably come a point that I go, you know what, I really want a picnic Kelly. And if you want to know what's on my Hermes big picture wish list, and because Hermes, like, this is my first quota bag of the year, chances are I might only get one more this year. That feeling of contentment does extend to, even though I have a wish list, I am not actively chasing anything, because we know with Hermes we just have to sit and wait. So I'm happy to do a wish list for Hermes if you're interested in what I might be looking for. So let me know in the comments down below. But happy. I think I'm just happy at the moment, which is really nice. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to a content creator when you hit that subscribe button. Please also hit the little bell notification so you know when I've uploaded videos, which is usually twice a week, and a lot of the time I'll throw in a third. I'll also throw up my Instagram handle for you so you can follow me over there. I put lots up in real time, lots around my collection and my day-to-day life, so please come follow me over there. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.